Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode 90 of Soccer Cards United. I am not always your host, Enzo. Jason's not here this week for the first time. It's the first one he's missed. He thought he could do them all, but he couldn't. I'm here with a good friend of mine and someone that a lot of people in the community will know by his own little antics, my friend Fay.
Enzo's not always your host, and I'm never your host.
You've never been... We have one friend who specifically told me I'm never listening to your podcast until Fay is on it.
Yeah,
a very supportive friend of mine.
If he doesn't listen now, we know where his agenda is at.
Listen. We have... Jason's not here. He was in Prague. Now he's in Belfast. We won't give any more of his... Don't know what he's up to.
No, we're not going to dox him live on air.
We're not going to dox him, no. We're not going to give away his address. But a lot happened this week. Jason was away. I'm sure more happened that I missed out on because Jason didn't see it and I didn't see it. But we're gonna start. You're very much an F1 person, Faye. You know your Calcio too, by all means. I'm not going to discredit that, but we're gonna get into some F1 stuff with you while we have you here. On top of that, we want to talk a little bit about Chrome, UEFA Champions League Chrome, some Haaland auto controversy. We might touch on a Mac Jones card that's all for 100k. Wales qualifying for the World Cup, and some salacious stuff that happened in the Spanish and Latina community, Faye, between Shakira, Piqué, and maybe Gavi.
Devastating stuff.
Shocking. So listen, there's a lot going on here. We're not in the Soccer Card United studio because that is inside Jason's house, and I didn't want to ask him for the keys. We're also not in our own homes. We're in a different location today. We'll leave it up to the viewers, the listeners, should I say? Because there's no viewers. Because we just about think we figured out the audio.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees.
We'll find out when it's too late. And
yeah.
When it's too late, it won't be my problem.
No, when this hour or so is done, if we didn't capture it, if no one is listening to this right now, we're not redoing it.
No.
We have one take and we're done. It's either going out bad. There might be an echo. Nothing we can do about that.
Hey, listen.
Unless Jason can do something about that. Nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, let's place the blame on Jason straight away. He's
being very sloppy not being here today. We just about think we figured out audio. We're not going to attempt to go near video. So sorry, YouTube gang. So let's kick in. Faye, thank you so much for chipping in.
Yeah, delighted to be here as always.
And we're gonna get straight into it. Formula One. It's been a big 2 years, year and a half maybe, say, for Formula One, hobby wise, since Topps got the licenses. Launched an extremely successful Chrome, Sapphire and Dynasty in its first campaign year, 2020. And then came back this year with a lot more products. We had Lights Out, we had Flagship, we had Light, we had Chrome, we had Sapphire, we had Dynasty, and we had Blasters. So a lot, but that was kind of warranted, I would say, based on the huge successes we seen last year. What's the kind of vibe at the minute in the F1 card community, Faye? Like how do they feel about this year's releases versus last year? And what's just the general vibe? And for yourself as a collector, you managed to luckily get boxes of Chrome last year on the website, which were about €200, I believe, at retail. And how have you kind of got on this year, just as an individual trying to get cards?
Yeah, it's been like, I suppose the F1 really hobby kickstarted, I would say, around the Christmas of 2020, if not a bit earlier. This is all pre-Chrome, I think, when the Hamilton Topps Now number 3 dropped. That's when things got a bit official. Now obviously we've had things in the past like Futera and other vintage cards, but when Topps got the license and really went for it, there was delays with Chrome, but when Chrome hit, it took off, and now you're looking at prices for sealed Chrome 2020 thinking, God, I should have kept this and I should have kept that.
Should have opened that one.
But especially like this year, like we got our full taste of what Topps is going to do to the brand, whether you think it's too much or not enough, or you're kind of happy where it's at. We got an on-demand set similar to a Champions League knockout in Lights Out, which was a fun little box, cheap little box. Those prices are sitting, I think, in and around $200 or so. Some nice cards, nice design.
Came out at €40 as well.
Came out at €40 as well, so it was fairly accessible, especially off the back of limited amount of Dynasty. Didn't even go on sale last year publicly on site, and it was very much kind of exclusive to America retailers. And you look at stuff like Chrome as well, very difficult. I was crazily lucky to get two boxes of it. I dropped it on I think I got on Germany, and then I got on the US when it dropped as well.
I remember
Same with Sapphire Vibes and stuff. But it was very limited. So I think more product has been nice. It felt like it got a bit inflationary, but that was only relative to the fact that we had next to nothing to begin with.
Yeah.
But you look at it now, we had Lights Out, which was a lovely product. And then we had Flagship Formula One racing paper stock, which people really bought into initially, but then it seems to have flopped a little bit. I know there was blasters and stuff like that. It looked like a fun product. I had the patches, but I think people were very much with the delays of that. It was so close to the possibility of Chrome dropping that it kind of hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I had its usual thing of, a product comes out, it goes up, it goes down, and it kind of settles. But it's fairly cheap now. You look at Chrome this year, and you look at Sapphire, which people are still getting delivered with some delays, I think, in shipping. Sapphire looks fantastic this year. Some of the image variations are brilliant, especially the colour combinations, like the green really pops.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of controversy with the image variations because they're not as easy to point out.
Yeah, like if you know them, you know them. If you don't, well, you're going to need to check codes and you're going to need to check online. Whereas like with the image variations in the set last year, it was very much, they're sitting on a barrel.
Yeah, they're sitting down, that's it. Easier. Is it better or worse that it's noticeable though?
I personally, I don't know. I kind of like the uniqueness of last year's image variations, even if they were kind of like staged to a certain extent. The new ones I do, like Hamilton's main kind of portrait one, I kind of used to know that's slick.
Yeah, no, that is like, I think there was a nice uniformity to it last year that you could collect all the image variations and they all looked the same.
They look like a set.
Yeah, it looked like a set.
They look like a
subset, if you will.
Isn't always a thing in Orthotops.
It's not. That's true. Like in soccer, it's not at all.
No.
Sometimes they have different kits on or they have a different kind of stance, but like it's not.
It's almost like they are like, I know they are an insert to a certain, but like a proper insert short print set, which I was kind of a fan of, and explains why they go for so much money.
Makes sense. Tops now took off at the start.
Yeah.
For that, so Tops now in soccer doesn't really demand huge returns. Sometimes it's the first rookie, but we've kind of got to a point where there's so much stuff printed that when the Tops now comes out, no one gives a fuck because they know Chrome is coming around the corner. We also have like the Erling Haaland Tops now, which all of our listeners will be very familiar with. In the Salzburg kit became this kind of grail. The first round of Formula One Tops nows were kind of the first premium card of any of the racers. They had relatively low print runs.
Yeah, and they were for a lot of people, they were the first F1 cards they kind of saw, unless they had somehow seen the Futeras and such. But they were the first kind of cards people saw and people kind of latched onto them. Fourth year Tops now 2020 are fun, great crack, but they have dipped in prices. People have seemed to have fucked off the vibe, to be honest. Even though I have some of the 2020 stuff. I think I've a good few Hamilton stuff, not like number 3. And there's some like rookie cards in there. Like Mick Schumacher has his Formula 2 card, which is obviously pre-rookie technically to F1. And then you have like Max Verstappen's first ever card. Like if you're not counting top trumps, which I don't really pay attention to myself,
of course,
and you're not in the mind of stickers, that Tops now is his outright first card. Unless you want to go into pack pull and stuff like that. But even those aren't doing fantastic numbers. Like I think that got pumped last year
when there was nothing else
at about $120, maybe $150 if you're lucky, and now you can pick them up fairly cheap. The same with some of the Hamiltons. The Hamiltons obviously give great value as a rookie card because stuff like Futera is completely inaccessible, and if you want to go SI kids, they're really tough to grade. But you look at like, there was one that really kind of caught my attention, which I think sold on Golden. Was at the end of the season, one race to go, Saudi Arabia. They were going in level on points. Verstappen, Hamilton, 365.5 points. It was insane. And they had this half and half card of Hamilton.
I almost bought that and decided not to.
The parallels with the chase, though, this is the thing though. Like the cards they have up on the site at the moment are from Monaco. And you've Perez flipping into the pool, and then you think you've Alonso doing one of his laps after holding up the whole fucking grid for the piss take of it, which is gas. But the Hamilton, Verstappen half and half. I think the one of them PSA 9 and Golden did, I think, 36-37 grand on it.
Yeah, crazy.
Which is for the Tops now is mad crack. Even if it's a 1-on-1, like there's no.
Because it's kind of like if you're a fan and a collector, you just want to buy them anyway. But then you also have that lottery chance that you could actually come out with a huge card.
Yeah, like you can get a big card now. Obviously, it depends. Like the ones up on site at the moment, like if you get the 1-on-1 of Perez jumping into the pool after winning a Monaco. That's pretty cool. It's not going to net you a crazy amount of money unless you get the right collector going. But the tops now is kind of dipped, which is sad to see if you're holding on to 2020 stuff in bulk. Like again, like Hamilton number 3 rookies, you really want them to pop. But they're not going to compare to, Sapphire Crown portraits from that year.
Especially numbered.
Especially numbered. Yeah.
We've seen some big sales, Faye, in Formula 1. You touched on the tops now, which we have seen a few tops now 101s going for big money. The biggest news at the start was the PSA 9 of that Futera card for Lewis Hamilton.
300 grand.
330k, I believe. That's what I've written. Might be 300, but 300 to 330, right, in dollars.
312.
And then came the 101. I believe it was it a PSA 7?
Are you on about the Super Refractor Auto?
Nah, it wasn't the Auto.
Not the Auto.
The Auto hasn't auctioned yet.
The Auto hasn't auctioned. I know that was like, that's valued at $2.5 million, which is crack.
No, but the other one, there was a sale for 900,000.
Oh, that one, yeah. The Super Refractor 900 grand.
I believe it was a PSA 7, but again, this is a set that everyone almost accepts that there's a notch on the back, there's an issue on the back. Because I think the Auto was an 8, I believe.
The Auto might have been an 8, especially just Hamilton's Auto is quite small, and sometimes with the sticker on these cards, the top of the loop gets cut off a little bit.
So we're talking 900 grand for the Super Refractor Lewis Hamilton. So again, it blew the Futera out of the water. Obviously, it's a 101, so there's a huge difference. It's a premium brand.
Yeah.
The Futera is in such short supply that we were basically seeing like a big respect given to the tops now. The tops chrome.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. 900 grand, and you're saying the Auto came out, the Super Refractor of the Auto, valued at 2.5 million.
I'm not sure I believe in that, obviously.
No, you'd have to see where that goes, but
crazy.
So these are the things that kind of really got this year's. We've plateaued. The market has plateaued a lot recently, but like the F1 hype.
There's been milestones in the F1, which it's a thing. I was talking to somebody about this the other day when you're kind of trying to grow this niche side of the hobby, and I still, some people do think it's niche because people listening out there might hate F1, and they might love F1, they might be middle ground, they might have no interest at all apart from financially. But what we've gone from is having people who don't know what the fuck DRS is, to being in group chats, being on Facebook and Discord, being like, oh, you don't know what this is. Like, we have people who've gone from nothing to being able to get on a high and mighty horse about I know so much, which is fantastic. But it's that thing of it takes so long for what I call, the trade routes, the social routes of information in a hobby to build. Like, you'll always have them built up with soccer coming in and being kind of the first kind of European side of things to mix mash and get into the States. And now you've F1, which is a little bit more global, obviously quite a European base, but there's quite a lot of Asian buyers in the market as well there, and Asian fans. You have Yuki Tsunoda and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
really good this year, and then you have Zhou as well. Who's doing quite good. So you have drivers on the grid with fans in certain areas who are collectors already, and F1 is a collectible sport anyway.
Yeah, of course.
And you can see it with some of the buyers that I would know buying in, Charles Leclerc visors, and people are buying gloves. People are buying tickets from Niki Lauda's first race, and the race where he crashed and nearly died in 1976.
Jesus.
It's crazy stuff, but we built up this community, and now we have a basis of fans who have learned, have understood, can watch a full season, get the information. And now as prices are starting to plateau, it's not like they're starting to plateau, it's that's a base level of information people have in terms of sales, in terms of purchases, and now people can make informed decisions next year instead of doing gambles based on what happened in 2020, which is what I think a lot of people are doing with 2021. A lot of people bought in bulk for the wrong product, a lot of people bought not enough for certain products if they are accessible, and that's a big learning curve going into what essentially this year was the first full year of F1 products.
And how did you feel though? This year you didn't get your hands on a Chrome box, I don't think.
No, and to be honest, I had no personal interest.
Okay.
I wouldn't be a collector that I feel I need one of every year, or I need to get in on it. I'm very much it's out and out there on my Twitter. I'm a Ferrari fan, terrifyingly biased. I'm completely honest in terms of what we do well and what we don't do well, and my opinions on every driver. But I'm a Ferrari fan. I'm only interested in Ferrari stuff. Yeah,
so you're happy enough to either get involved in a break with Ferrari or just buy the singles as they pop up?
I'm happy to buy them singles. I've a chrome portrait of Charles. That does me. I'm not mad on any particular numbering or short prints. I just Ferrari, so any Schumacher stuff, Alonso as well, Vettel. Leclerc. That's what I do. But people have settled into that.
Science? Did you leave science out for a reason?
Don't get me started on science. I tell you, you'll have to start fucking.
No, we're not. Listen, we only have so much time here, Faye. Before we move on and get back to the kind of the normal structure of the show, I just want to ask, this season's racing, how you think it's going to impact the hobby? I assume you're saying now that people are more informed, it'll have less of a giant impact.
People are more informed. So I think what's going to happen is, initially, a lot of tourists come in to the hobby side of things, just look at make a quick buck, which obviously there's nothing wrong with. If that's what you're in for, fair play. I hope it goes well. But a certain amount of those flies stuck to the wall, listen to the people who knew the sport and also knew the hobby at the same time, and now they're the ones who kind of like, not control the information, but like can dictate opinion a little bit, dictate influence, and kind of like this is this and this is that. So like you'll have people online who collect the Lando Norrises, and like he does well, the cards do well because the people who support him just happen to be, in the hobby. But it is a thing, like I think the Race World Impact last season was fantastic for it. Like again, that 101 tops now of Hamilton and Verstappen, only that big purely because either one of these was about to, in the next race, get an 8th championship, which is record breaking, or one of them was about to get the 4th championship, which is another kind of record kind of looking thing.
I avoided that card because I said to myself, that's iconic in this moment, but like next race, they're not level on points. So I was like, so in my head I was like, so it doesn't really matter.
It was the outcome.
No, I get it.
A guaranteed outcome of one of these is going to have another championship.
Yeah.
Like it worked out for the better in terms of the card that Verstappen got, because then you have 2 world championships on the card. But it's that thing, like that's the impact of the racing.
Yeah.
Do you know, and especially given like how it ended and stuff and controversy. Like this season, you look at obviously Ferrari got back. Ferrari, a very collectible brand generally.
Yeah.
In terms of like obviously the cars are quite exclusive. Like you can't even buy a Ferrari offhand. You have to buy a second-hand Ferrari before they allow you to buy a first-hand Ferrari, and even that's a selection process.
That's mad.
Do you know? Very collectible brand, one of the biggest brands in the world. And now you have the card side of things. So you have so much scope for people who are not into F1, who are just into the brand or the person. People are just into Charles Leclerc.
Do you think? Ferrari doing well. Me and Jason always say like Ferrari doing well is good for the sport and the hobby.
Good.
Like so someone asked us last week, I don't know if you listened, but they said whose cards would you rather have in 3 years, Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc? And it was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's one of them things. I was talking with one of the guys on Twitter, and they posed almost like the premature of that question is like, say 5 years ago, what cards would you be rooting for? So if we were back in the heyday of Hamilton winning the championships, and like Nico Rosberg about to win his one, let's say, people would be pumping into Nico being like, oh, first championship, and then he just retires out of nowhere. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. If you look at the hindsight of it, you can be like, oh, you can see the risk reward here. Like I could dump a load of money into fucking Charles Leclerc and then he doesn't win anything. Do you know? Yeah, I get you. That's what I was saying to Jason. I was saying you'd be banking on Charles winning first of all, but then because we said like, Verstappen's already won. We're like, he won and no one really likes him. That's what we said. We said we don't really think they like him. We said we're not sure how the Dutch people feel about him. We thought it might be similar to Conor McGregor, and some people love him, other people hate him. Fanatical about him. No, that's I know some people. I got a DM. I'm gonna pull it up, but continue, Faye. Some people we just feel like he seems unlikable. I personally do not like. Now, listen, he's a great driver. I'm not going to comment on whether I think he's going to win or not this year. He moans a lot. He gives it all this, Faye. He does give it all this. But Hamilton does too, people say. Hamilton does too, but Hamilton knows how to play the game. Hamilton's very fucking clever about that shit. Verstappen's still, like, obviously world champion, great driver. Could go on to be one of the best of all time. But he's still young. He's in the sport a long time. He's in the sport. I was there when he won his first fucking race, like 2016 Barcelona, and that was like, even then people were like, oh, it's a bit early for him to be promoted to Red Bull, this is a bit nuts. And look at him now. But it's that thing of like, that could all fall through the floor if they just mess up the car halfway through the season. True. And they've had issues. I'm just going to mark, because we said that last week, Mark DM'd us, that he just listened, he said, as I'm Dutch and a Formula 1 watcher as well, I enjoy the Verstappen talk. Thank you very much. The truth is, most Dutch Formula 1 fans really love him. Right? Goes with what you said. So much that he can do absolutely nothing wrong. He's adored. That causes the other Formula 1 fans over here to kind of dislike Max because his fans, most of the time, they can't be reasoned with. Right? I personally think Max isn't easy to like. The complaining in the car isn't a problem for me. Hamilton does the same and is part of driving fast, being dependent on mechanical stuff. He just keeps his distance of the track, and for others outsiders seem approachable, which is different from the other athletes over there.
They're more open outside the sport. So saying Max kind of just keeps himself outside.
He does, like, he's not the sort of, like, you look at Hamilton and obviously he has his own interests outside the sport and stuff like that, but it's that thing of, you don't see Verstappen yet delving into his other hobbies.
But he's focused on his...
He's focused on his... Like, a lot of people come in, they race, they go home, see you later, and that's it. They're not really available elsewhere, which is fine. But you can see it in terms, like, people in the past, like, like Michael Schumacher wouldn't have been nuts outside the sport, really. He does these Ferrari ads and these Fiat ads, and that's it. And, like, obviously you go back into, like, the olden days, even like Juan Manuel Fangio, it's a mouthful for me, would have been something of a celebrity at the time, but then there would have been another driver, so just like, I'm here to race, see you later. Kimi Räikkönen.
Okay, you will never hear from him again. I sold his all five. I was very happy.
He's NASCAR vibes now.
I heard that actually.
Yeah, crazy shit.
Madman. Okay, well listen, we couldn't have Fay here without chatting a bit of F1, but that's it. We're done. You're done. You're finished.
No, don't even get me. I didn't even get to start on vintage.
Now, what we normally do here when Jason is here and he's holding on to the show. Sorry, Fay. We start with Hobby HQ. We talk about things that have happened in the hobby, and then we get into your football week, where we just chat about things that happen in football. Again, it was an international break this time around. Not too many crazy things happened, but there was a few things of note. So we're going to start with the football, Fay. With the hobby side of football. UEFA Champions League Chrome came out, and Chrome Light, and it's in hand. People have it in hand. We didn't take any on for soccercardsunited.com for various reasons. At this moment in time, that could change.
I have to say, I like the look of it. I like the look of the coloured parallels.
Can I say this is the takeaway? People that are ripping it are liking it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. There was one really interesting.
I wasn't a fan of, and obviously this applies to the F1 that came out. I'm not a fan of the design last year. It felt a bit too crowded, and like, the names are small and stuff like that.
Yeah. Whereas
this, it feels like there's more of the image of the players on the cards, and just the colour really pops, I think.
No, understandable. We had okay. So first of all, we actually think the cards look really, really good. There is a lot of rookies in it. It's a 200 card checklist, which is kind of questionable for some people. There's light, there's chrome, there's going to be blasters, very overproduced.
It's big,
but it is soccer.
Yeah,
the soccer hobby is booming. I do think they jumped too far ahead soccer wise. I think the hobby is really growing at an all-time pace for soccer. But I do think the manufacturing companies, especially because Panini and Topps both have soccer licenses, there has been like, they've gone too far, if that makes sense. I think long term it's going to be fine. The
thing is, they've gone so far that obviously this is like a few months ago where people are pulling random cards with random brands on them in the manufacturing.
Yeah,
obviously they're getting done at the same place, and
you're getting Match Attacks cards coming out in Panini products.
Yeah, you're like, okay, that is too far now.
You're like, what's happening here? But Card Geek broke something down for us on Twitter. This is something me and Jason said just off the cuff. Based on last year, last year was the first year of Champions League Chrome Blasters.
Yeah.
And it very much seemed like they were loaded, Faye. And I mean loaded.
Yeah, some of the colours that were coming out were nuts.
We've seen similar for Formula 1 Blasters this year. And it's like the first time Blasters come out makes kind of sense. Like logically, if your conspiracy theory hat on, Faye, you're thinking they're going to load them up because then next year when Blasters come out, they're going to get flooded. Everyone's going to grab Blasters.
Yeah.
So this is the first ever year of UEFA Champions League Chrome Light. And me and Jason, tongue-in-cheek, said, you're probably better off buying Light. And Card Geek broke some stuff down. So I'm just going to read this Twitter thread from the man with the numbers. We've had a few days of Chrome, mostly light for us Yanks. I broke down the odds a few days ago, but there's some fascinating nuances I thought I'd cover. And I'm just going to go to this. Speaking of hobby, what's better, hobby or light? I already weighed in, but there are some dramatic numbers that support this point. His point was that light was better, which was the same.
Yeah.
We based it on no information. Let me just say that. We said that a while back, based on no information other than the assumption that Topps would kind of just load it, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, did you read this thread? Have you seen this thread, Faye?
I've seen bits of the thread, yeah.
Okay. I just wonder if any of this kind of jumps out at you. Super, right? Super factor 101s are 4 times more likely to hit in a case of light. 4 times more likely to get a 101.
It's not exactly too bad, is it?
Right? 1 in every 200, I believe. Super 2. 70% of supers packed out of light. I think the ones that have actually come out already, I think that's what he's saying, 70%, so I don't really know what that's based on. Has there been 10 and 7 of them came out of light? I don't know. Number to 50, you get 2 times as many in a case of light. Base, what's he saying? My favourite is people who just apply price difference allocated across the spot. More expensive in hobby case. Yeah, there's a lot of base. Spoiler alert, 640 base case per hobby, 760 base per case of light. You get more cards in light, obviously. There's more packets.
This is the one I really liked. It goes into frames then.
Now, here's the thing. Is the frame Is there gold frames in this, like the way the Champions League, or is he talking about the rookie sticker in a frame?
I'm not too sure.
But frame, right? We'll call it frame card. Frame. I already mentioned this. They are unicorns. I think this is the sticker, right? So Topps did old school rookie stickers in framed. Panini had done it before. We've seen one of, I think, Gravenberch came out on eBay, and the iconic 1920 Salzburg Haaland in a frame, also one of them out of 15 on eBay. They're unicorns, but they're 4 times more likely to hit in a case of light than a case of hobby. Hobby has autos, right? So that is a key thing. But there's a low percentage play for anyone decent to come out of the sticker autos anymore. You know, you're getting a lot of Carvajals, you're getting a lot of Joshua Kimmich. I still think it's overproduced generally, but open light. And that's an important thing. Like, it's probably, it's super overproduced. I think if you're trying to have fun, crack a box of light.
Yeah, light, like if it's working out cheaper and with those kind of odds, like unless you're chasing autos, and even you're chasing autos,
it's hard.
What are the odds you're going to get one that you think matters or is financially good? And also,
I do love opening, like whenever I open a Chrome box or a Bundesliga Chrome, like you're opening them and you know the auto's in there.
It's nice.
That's good, because like especially autos tend to have a value, whether it's high or low. It's a card you can definitely sell.
It could be $50, it could be $1,000. God knows.
But it could go either way.
You're hitting something that's giving you the endorphins rather than hitting like a bunch of out of 399s.
Yeah, not great.
No.
So listen, I think I'm going to try to get my hands on some light, maybe some Chrome blasters if they pop up. It is fun to open. We do have a lot of Champions League flagship that we're still going to open them because they're fun, much more fun than Bundesliga. You know, when you're opening Champions League, you know the players. You know it's a better experience. Now, Faye, we had a really weird card pop up on the timeline the other day. Well, it popped up on eBay and then that made its way to Twitter, courtesy of loads of the Twitter gang. Y'all know who you are. A 2021 Topps UEFA Champions League finest Erling Haaland autograph numbered to 25 showed up on eBay. Now, for context, Faye, this is the first non-one-of-one Haaland autograph seen in pretty much any set from 2021. Right? They were in every checklist, and all we ever really seen was one-of-ones. And then at some point, around June, the checklist stopped having Haaland autographs in them. So I think Bundesliga Tier 1 didn't have it, and Bundesliga Finest didn't have it. But prior to that, we had some sets. Merlin was saying there was a one-of-one, which did eventually get pulled. I believe all of the images, whenever there was kind of a sale sheet, the images popping out was Haaland auto was there, but it was always super refractor, right? Because sometimes they didn't quite say it was just the 101, but it was kind of like it's just the 101. But for an of 25 to come out after pretty much a year, right? Because people had been saying, "Yo, where the fuck are these? There's no autographs," you know, because the sale sheet showed a non-super refractor Haaland autograph, and people are speculating, saying, "Is this legit?"
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the whole thing from PSA.
People comparing different bits. And just one thing I wanted to add to that. Because people are basically saying, we have not seen it in a year. Did they just get extra stickers and now they've made the cards and they've kind of shot them out and they're trying to pretend it's always been there? And you're kind of saying, how have we seen all the one-of-ones? And if there's an of 25, they're saying there should be an of 10 and an of 5.
Yeah.
So we're talking, 25, 5, 30, 41 Haaland autos, and we've only seen one in a year and it's the one-of-one, right? Not great. I went and did my research a little bit more, and I was trying to, when did this first start happening? When did they kind of start getting a bit iffy? When were the lines blurred? Because there was a month, I think at the end of April. June is a questionable month. By July, the checklist had changed. They didn't retrospectively change, but Bundesliga Finest came out in July. There was no Haaland autographs, right? Which is a bit mad when you consider the fact that he's the star in that license. But at the end of April came Bundesliga Match Attax Chrome, right? Now this is one of the last, one of the start of the 2021 sets. Whenever this controversy seemed to be going on, Bundesliga Match Attax Chrome, no one has seen an Erling Haaland autograph out of that, and it's been out for over a year. In that checklist, Faye, the autographs, there's only 25 players that have autographs on that checklist, and the autographs are stated to be numbered 1-of-1, 1-of-5, 1-of-10, 1-of-25, and 1-of-50.
And there's no caveat to that being like, this might change and blah, blah.
No, there's none of that.
Full on.
Now, we've witnessed over 100 boxes open, because we sold some to one crazy German who opened them all and sent us his hits. We've opened a lot ourselves, me and Jason, we have it in the studio. That's kind of the thing. When we need to rip something, we grab the Match Attax Chrome. But I'll accept like 100 or so boxes is definitely a really, really, really small percentage of that print run.
It is, but at the same time, the odds of those 100% boxes being held by somebody or...
There was... No, it was an auto in every 10 boxes. So 1 in 10 boxes was an auto, right? And we're saying, what's that? 50, 25, that's 75, 10, 85, 5, 91 Bundesliga match attacks autographs, apparently, allegedly, not seen for an entire year. And nothing in the PSA registry. You know, no one has like pulled it without being Twitter, Instagram, you know, savvy.
Nobody privately on the sly.
No. And that just ties in because that's easy to forget about. It's easy to kind of say one of the huge distributors probably bought thousands of boxes and all of the Haaland autographs are in there. Could be the case.
But still, like the Lotto averages.
Yeah, it's not great. It doesn't look great.
It doesn't
and then when you tie that into the fact that, again, for one full year, we've only seen 1 of 1s come out of every product. And the top's finest, which was one set that had 2 autographs per box because there was too many boxes. We only seen the 1 of 1, and now suddenly an of 25 pops up, which is a little bit like, whoa, everyone's kind of like, shit, what the fuck? Is this real? Is it not real? And it's interesting as well because the back of the card, Fay, normally, like when a card, like if you look at I'm sure you're familiar with the Chrome F1, the back of the card, kind of the numbers or the letters kind of tell you it's an autograph. You know, it's like,
oh, congratulations.
Yeah, autograph LH for Lewis Hamilton, right? These just say PF-HA, so like prize footballer, which is the insert, dash Haaland.
Yeah.
But the base cards say the same thing.
There's no special item.
Like you could take a base card,
whack a sticker on
it and put the number at the back, which is what people are saying, because they're saying this engraved number looks different than the Julio Cesar autos coming out that was on the timeline. So basically it just looks a bit fucked.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy. We don't know. Haaland definitely did stop signing shit. They definitely ran out of stickers. You're running low on stickers, should I say?
Yeah, and like it's not the only kind of auto conspiracy that's been doing the rounds.
Yeah, we're getting Fay. We're seeing here. There's a
few different ones. Like there was even one in F1 with a whole Lando Norris.
Yeah, the Lando 4.
He confirmed allegedly
was not real.
Was not him.
But then people said
well,
he signed this and this is what he did. You know, so that was the Lando 4 versus the other
Lando.
Lando.
There's always something. I feel like even with this Haaland thing, there'll always be somebody to come out with some form of caveat of, well, this auto actually looks like this. And this card.
And then we have the Messi controversy. Like me and Jason are sending 2 Messi autos to PSA, right?
Yeah.
They both look a bit different. And I said to Jason, will we send them both? Because one of them I have absolute confidence in.
Yeah.
And the other one, it's not as bad as the bad ones, but it's in between, you know?
It could be okay. But at the same time.
And Jason just said, send it in. We need to know. You know, even if it's a waste of money. I don't know if they charge you if they don't do anything with it.
The value of the info you're getting out of that.
We said it's content.
Yeah, it's content.
If it comes back disastrously, we can be like, yo.
Wait.
What's happening? So, listen, I think just card companies, get your shit together. Because there's a huge thing with Panini. They did Phil Foden redemption autos. And they don't look like they're getting them. So, that could be a licensing issue.
What's that thing of just transparency at the end of the day?
That's it,
If you don't have them or if you've messed it up, just fucking say it.
If Haaland stops signing, tell people.
Yeah, like,
you know?
At the end of the day, obviously, they're a business. And if you tell people that, they're going to
no autograph.
Fuck about, you know.
You know, it's a tough one. Because maybe they are in there and we're all just cuckoos.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay. One thing, I'm just going to skim over this. So this is the last bit of hobby news. There was a Mac Jones. I don't know if you've seen this on the timeline.
Is this the one pulled by the 13-year-old?
13-year-old pulled it, lost his shit, handled it like a 13-year-old. To be fair,
no bad blood there.
101 Prism Mac Jones, NFL 101. He sold it for 100,000. There was a weird left-handed handshake going on between his dad and whoever.
Yeah, I saw that with the Caribou sale, like.
Yeah, that was
and just getting the watches in.
Yeah, people were like, "Fuck you!" Is this happened?
I think there's like a random shoe as well in the background.
It was very messy.
Fantastic.
Now I seen someone pulled a 1-of-1 Mac Jones patch autograph from Panini Sephora, and he was asking for 11 grand.
11 grand.
And I was like,
what?
Yeah, Prism. Does Prism really have? I don't know what's going on in this hobby. I can't. My internet is abandoning me here, Faye. But I'd posted on Twitter. I quote tweeted and said, "Could someone put this in soccer terms for me so I understand?" Because I'm assuming like 100 grand for a 1-on-1. Like, what does a Jude Bellingham 1-on-1 do right now? Is it 100 grand? I don't think so.
No, it's not.
But is Bellingham as good a player as this Mac Jones fella? That was basically. I was like, can someone explain if this is outrageous or not? And I got a lot of people chatting. I have it here actually. People said Gavi. Promising first season, but not a guaranteed superstar. 25k, similar to Jude Super Refractor. Crazy. Someone said Adnan Zanazai, Duck. You're not American. Sorry, Mitch. I'm skipping you. People said Fatty before his injuries. Okay, just hype there.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres, young, talented, on a big team, but nothing really crazy. Someone said Dusan Vlahovic, Camavinga again. Obviously, like quarterbacks and more so related to attackers than midfielders, I would say. Phil Foden. But essentially, it just like I keep feeling like we're overproduced, too much shit's going on in soccer. And then I see a crazily overproduced set like NFL Prism.
Yeah.
A one-of-one of a player who's not Cristiano Ronaldo, who's not Messi, he's not going to be Ronaldo, Messi, or Tom Brady or whatever. And I see 100 grand, and then I just say...
But it's this thing of, this is good, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, we're fucking early in soccer.
Yeah, well,
like,
no,
it's still...
Like, I'm always sitting there thinking F1's not even, like, in its infancy. F1's
Yeah.
still in the ball sack, like, do you know? Whereas, like, you look at NFL, like, 100 grand for a player like that is fantastic. But, like, it makes it so much easier for people to sell adjacent talent.
Yeah.
Even like whether they agree that was worth it or not.
I'm not criticising that. I'm just saying like right now in my brain I'm like, buy as much Lewis Hamilton numbered chrome and sapphire as I can.
Yeah, and I wonder like his prices have dipped a little bit. Because,
but that's good. Let me get him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if a one of Mac Jones can do 100k, what can an of 25 Hamilton do in 10 years?
Yeah. But it's that thing, like, once they do well, whether you like it or not, or whether you think it's right, adjacent talent jumps up. Because if a Mac Jones goes for 100 grand, what does the next best guy go for?
And then, like, if you look at, like, soccer, like, what would a one-of-one Haaland do from 1920, you know?
And then, you know, if that does 6 figures, who's the next best talent? What does he do? He probably does a little bit more as well.
Yeah, just a bit, man. And I said the last hobby, but this is the very last thing. There was a 101 Fay, a 101 Mukoku autograph. The young blood, hobby famous. He broke the record at 43k print run for soccer back in the day. Yeah, I think that's been beaten since, but back in the day it was a huge deal. Everyone and their mother, and the key thing was everyone and their mother got his tops now without having ever seen him play. I had people in my workplace buy a 20 pack of his tops now. A 101 auto from his kind of BVB tin special pack set thing that they did.
Yeah.
He only has 2 1-of-1 autographs. We own one of them, Faye, me and Jason. And this is the other one. So we were like, oh my god, wow, we get to get a comp. This was exciting. It was on Golden Auctions. It was an 8, a PSA 8, which is fair. Like this set was really poorly designed. I have faith ours could make.
What was the stock of that set like?
Very bad. Match Attacks Chrome. Not even Match Attacks Chrome, like Match Attacks vibe. Really, and they were black cards, so the whitening was so an 8 is actually really good for that card, especially because that is the 101 was a black foil, so amazing. I'm confident ours will definitely get an 8. If not, we could get a 9. Wouldn't get a 10, I don't think. So this is again exciting. It did an 8 grade and a 10 auto, right? It was dual certified, and we're actually sending ours away. Faye, we've set up our first PSA submission, and we're going to send ours away. And it did $6,120. Now, bearing in mind, he didn't really do shit for a year. Haaland was injured a lot. He didn't even get his game time. They had Donny Malen, the other players playing. At the same time, he's 17. I think a lot of people, that's a factor a lot of people are not factoring. Again, I think he's a huge gamble, obviously because of who he is, what he is. But I think a lot of people have, like, even people that want to gamble, they've written him off as if, I don't know, like they're like, he didn't get much game time. It's like, yeah, he's 17.
Like, he's not in the middle of the conversation when it comes to young talents
at all.
Really.
He's below that.
Unless you're in bulk and you kind of want to reap.
You know, of course. We have a 101, but even then, like, he's someone that if in 3 years he starts kind of getting game time, it's like amazing. If he's talented, do you know, he's really, really young, right? And being young, he doesn't seem to be signing a lot of things. He didn't sign anything in Bundesliga Chrome last year, didn't sign anything in Finest, didn't sign anything in Tier 1. He does not have autographs. That's what motivated me and Jason to pick up the 101. We said, this could be limited. It's super limited. I said this could be kind of a unicorn card if he does something. Now, $6,000 as a comp, Jason would sell for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And I'm on the fence. Like, I think,
but it's that thing you say. 3 years from now, he starts getting game time.
If he's good, I think he's 21 at the 2026 World Cup.
I think he might be. Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but he could never be playing. Like, by then he could be playing in the second Bundesliga.
But at the same time, God knows what happens.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The hobby collapses and the world ends. Who knows?
You know, exactly. There's so many factors in this young man. But yeah, you just look at the Mac Jones 101 doing 100 grand. You come over the soccer, you see a 101 autograph. Not the same thing, of course. But it's just interesting. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I would be happy with 6k, but I think it would be It would be the most expensive 6k I've ever got, if that makes sense. Like, I would get that 6k.
Like, it's costing you a lot of possible money.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of like 6k, that could be your word.
It's more than 2x.
Sale handshake.
Yeah, no, the little handshake. I don't know. It's just it's a weird one. He kind of it's a player that might torment me for life. I think.
Yeah.
Owning a 101 is very
I don't
stressful.
think it's a negative to hold for a while. anyway.
Oh, he definitely has
No.
a spurt of goals in him. Dortmund know what they're doing.
Like, it's not a thing of like, oh, I gotta sell this within 2 months.
Yeah, no, he's not fatty as well. Like, he hasn't got knee injuries
No.
and whatever. Oh, listen, that's the hobby, right? Not a lot happened. It's been. I mean, a lot seems to have happened. There was a lot of drama, or whatever, but that's it. The football Fay.
That's the way it's like. You're coming to the end of the season, and I wouldn't mind, but like, it's the end of the season. You have the pissy fucking Nations League going on.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. Like the finalissima, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
We're forgetting about that.
But like, you have the thing now, like, it's done, but also we're in June. We have July, and then you get into August, and it's starting again. Like,
Yeah, you need to
even
chill.
the Serie A starting at
It's weird.
the beginning of August. Like, we're not that far off season beginning again.
It's weird to think that, Faye. It's weird to think that if it wasn't in Qatar, the World Cup would be kicking off now, or towards the end of midweek, mid month.
This is the one thing I'm wondering with prices, because you're gonna have in season like prices as you would anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be such an effect around Christmas, especially when people get money or people are short.
No,
money
the
around
Chris, and
Christmas.
it's raining outside. Everyone's inside on their phones.
These are doing really well in the Premier League and the Champions League, but they're fucking it up in the
World Cup.
What's that going to do for my products?
It's going to be weird.
It's going to be funny.
But listen, talking about the World Cup, Wales, right? It's not the Eurovision anymore, Faye. Ukraine couldn't quite get there. They couldn't get the public vote to get a few goals. They couldn't get a penalty, even though there definitely was a penalty in that game. I don't know if you've seen it. They didn't get it. I don't know why. Wales, a free kick from Bale that was headed in by Yarmolenko, an own goal, very sad. Wales are going to the World Cup, and significantly, they're in the same group as England, the United States, and Saudi Arabia? No. Is it Saudi Arabia?
I think it's Saudi Arabia.
No, I don't know who the other one is. Sorry, folks, let me pull it up.
No, it's England, Iran, USA, and Wales.
Is it Iran?
Yeah.
That's fucking mental. Is Saudi Arabia not the World Cup? Let me try save some blushes. Oh, they are. Okay.
Iran against the USA, that's going to be politically interesting.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said really. So that's a mad group for the hobby, I would say. The USA's first game, I think, is against Wales now. Officially set.
I'm looking at the other groups and I'm thinking what else would be fun. Like, obviously...
You're talking from a political point of view?
No, well, maybe. Spain and Germany is interesting, obviously. Two big teams, two
Yeah.
European teams. You're looking at other groups and there's nothing crazy in terms of group stage who's going to be running against each other.
Yeah, I was going to say Group H is potentially... I don't want to say group of death, but that's a fucking tough group. Ghana, Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay. Like, there's no easy games.
Like, I think
Ghana could be.
Portugal would be relying on a few players to pop off. Like, the likes of Leao pop off, personally.
I know, Portugal... I wouldn't be surprised to see Portugal go out in the group stage, is what I'm saying. Good as they are.
Yeah, you can see Uruguay getting through.
Like, that's a banana peel. Like, they don't... With all due respect, they don't have a Tunisia, they don't have a Saudi Arabia, they don't have an Iran, a Qatar. Like I'm not trying to shit on any. There's no easy World Cup games, but I'm saying that's a tough group, which could, if you get out of that group, have you well set for the tournament because you're playing at such a high level. I can't listen. This is not the time to speculate the World Cup. Me and Jason will get into that closer to the date. But yeah, congratulations to Wales. We have a few Welsh that listen. Group B officially set in stone. England, Iran, USA and Wales. That's a tough group because you want to see USA get out just for the hobby to get out of the group stage. That's going to be tough.
But you really think they're going to do that at the cost of England? Probably not. At Wales,
no, I think they.
God knows.
That's an incredible opening game for the World Cup. USA Wales, because in the World Cup you lose your opening game. There's a chance you're gone home.
Yeah, there's the mad luck or there's the bad luck of that.
That's going to be a mad game for both teams. I'm just excited. I cannot wait to binge the World Cup. Apart from that, Faye, there's not too much football really that went on. We had Messi scored 5 goals against Estonia.
Yeah.
Ronaldo scored twice against Switzerland.
And then Haaland just popped off against, what was that,
Argentina?
Sweden.
Yeah, he might have doubled down, but he got 2 against Sweden, I believe. Someone called him a whore and then he scored a goal. They said, I'm going to break your legs, and 2 minutes later he scored a goal. They had a very, very questionable penalty. I don't know if you've seen that. You definitely didn't.
Yeah,
it was nuts.
Yeah.
So, Messi scored 5 against Estonia. Let's start there, right? He just won the finalissima and was buzzing. He looked in great form. He destroyed Italy. Italy made that easy. People are like, that's Estonia, it's a friendly, shut the fuck up. But like, Dybala was on the pitch.
But it's still a thing with like
5. Who scores?
5 goals is 5 goals.
Dude, like, it's not, with all due respect, again, I'm just shitting on countries. San Marino, where like multiple people can get 2 or 3 goals against San Marino without too much difficulty. Maybe you could. But 5 goals against Estonia, it's like a lot of teams play against Estonia and not a lot of players get 5 goals.
No, but it's that thing of like, you're going to see, you can go, they're just stat padding and stuff like that. Yeah. But like, not every player has the ability to stat pad the fuck out of countries, you know?
People need to understand that. Like, that's... Like, again, Julian Alvarez was on the pitch at one point, Dybala was. They didn't score. Now, with all due respect, they're still great players. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying... Like, it was a friendly. Listen, it was a friendly. But, again, Alvarez started, Correa started, Gomez started, Dybala had 30 minutes, Messi got 5 goals, right? Friendly or not, he is looking... I said to Jason last week on the podcast...
He's looking well.
I said to Jason, I don't know if you heard it, I said to Jason last week, I genuinely believe this in my soul now. He purposely took it fucking easy in France because he's seen how badly fucked up Neymar got with injuries and people kicking the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
He said, I am not getting injured before the fucking World Cup. This could be my last chance to win the fucking World Cup. I'm not going to run around the French league and get my ankles taken. I'm just going to be a little playmaker. I'm going to be chilling. I'll pass the ball to Mbappe, let him run. Yeah. I'm not fucking up. And now when he's with Argentina, he just looks like a different player. He's like,
you can see
ready to kill motherfuckers.
Statistics, like his last season with Barcelona, 36 appearances, 30 goals, 9 assists. PSG, he's 9 games shorter, so he's 26 appearances. Only 6 goals, so 24 less goals. A few more assists, 13. Obviously, his XG dropped quite a bit, but his XG was still sitting at like 9 or 10.
Yeah, damn.
I kind of like... I think it's more of an issue of the team. No, I'm not going to get into criticising players around them, but it's team. It's not individual. It's how the team forms and plays together. I think that's an issue for them, and it's an issue for a lot of teams out there where you have these great players that can do things individually, but I don't think Messi is the problem with PSG, and I think I kind of agree with him. He might have been taking it easy.
Yeah, I think so. That's my narrative now. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. Hopefully that agenda pushes through for the World Cup. Yeah.
Apart from that, I think Neymar is 3 goals away from overtaking Pelé in Brazil's all-time scorer list. Ronaldo just became the first.
Pelé's just about to get.
He's about to take out the chalkboard.
He's getting the 5-year-old.
Listen, lads, the yellow jersey on. He's like, you think I still can't score, you fuckers? And Ronaldo became the first international player to score 100 non-penalty goals. There you go. It's a good thing the United States aren't in his group.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to the next World Cup. Anyway, the final thing on the agenda is the tragedy. Jason, look at that. Oh no, I miss him.
The tragedy of Jason.
Jason's actually dead. Jason died. He went to Prague. He didn't make it back alive. He's not in Belfast. That's the story you tell when there's a dog gone to the farm.
Did Jason also split up with a famous pop star?
Yeah, maybe. Listen, Shakira and PK have split. And Fay, listen, I'm going to give a quick deep dive, right? He hasn't been posted on Shakira's Instagram since Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
Valentine's Day was some time ago, right? Mother's Day came around. Oh, Richie, what the fuck? Richie just messaged me, random question, are you looking for a bike?
What?
And can I say, I literally bought a bike 2 days ago.
Oh, Jesus.
And I love Richie's bike.
Yeah.
But I'm not riding that and Richie ride. Okay.
No, yeah.
Shakira PK, talking about riding. Shakira PK, right? So Mother's Day, she posted a photo of her and the 2 kids, because they have 2 kids.
Yeah, one of them's called Milan, actually.
Yeah, facts. And she didn't even mention PK in that. She was like, I love the kids, all this. Didn't even mention PK. Now their story of how they met was beautiful. He literally was winning life. Met her at the start of the World Cup. Said the only other chance I have to see you is if we get to the finals. He was like, grand, I'll just win the World Cup. Crazy fucking shit.
Yeah, imagine what a line to use.
Just fucking, and he does it just nutty. He's winning everything. He's one of the all-time greats. He's taking pay cuts. He's doing a lot when Barcelona needed him. It very much looked like he's going to be a future president of Barcelona. And things are taking a turn because the rumours have it that he's living in a little bachelor pad. He's going out every other night with Ricky Puig, which is terrible for Ricky Puig, but Ricky Puig is not quite a good enough player to give a fuck. He's partying, fucking loads of ladies, whatever.
He's doing the Sergio Perez.
He's doing some dirty stuff. And now he's refusing to take a pay cut. Him, Jordi Alba and Busquets are all telling Barca to suck their dick. They're staying. So very much in the space of since Valentine's Day, let's say, tarnishing of his reputation. Apparently now the rumours on Twitter, the vicious rumours was that he was banging young Gavi, the rookie of this year.
Yeah.
Gavi's mother. Now I think that rumour literally just it's not confirmed. No. That literally just came out, I think, because people are like, Gavi 17, that's a funny,
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're just like, he's young enough that kind of makes sense. That could happen. Yeah. Gas. But it turns out it was some 20-year-old event hostess thing. Apparently, rumour has it. So Shakira, they officially split recently, but this kind of like rumours were coming out on Twitter first. Yeah. And when you see that he hasn't been posted since Valentine's Day, which is a big deal, and that, as some of my friends said, she's been going out a lot in the last few weeks. People seen her everywhere. So she's enjoying herself as she should. Fucking PK, what are you doing? He dropped the ball.
they're fucking big loss. Like, I wouldn't mind. Like, I'm looking at they put out an official.
Yeah. But that was after Twitter kind of found out.
That was after, but like this is the same.
Can I say this kind of one thing? A lot of people start following Shakira on Instagram. A lot of famous people. It's cutthroat if you're famous. It's cutthroat in general. As soon as you lose your girl, everyone's like, now they're coming out. Because no one knew she was single, and that's Shakira.
I know people are copping on.
Now everyone's like, oh, PK, you fucked up.
Yeah, but this is the statement they put out as like a joint couple. On Saturday.
It was a no nonsense statement.
We regret to confirm that we are separating. For the well-being of our children, who are our highest priority, we request respect for our privacy. Thank you for understanding. That's it, like.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, thankfully, this isn't actually raw in terms of this. Obviously, happened a while ago, right? Like, they kept it under wraps, but this has happened.
Had a dialogue. You know?
Like the rumors in Spanish media was like PK is staying at this place by himself because they're obviously paying attention to all the celebrities. So it's been going on for a while. I think it got confirmed on Twitter, and then they just said, "Let's put out a statement to tell everyone to shut the fuck up." But fucking PK, we're gonna wrap the show here. We're not relationship people, but
no. But there was
to lose Shakira.
There is one thing on this that there was apparently in February she was on like a podcast, and she kind of referred to PK as like poor husband / boyfriend / baby daddy, and it's kind of like what in February. That's a mad vibe.
No, but that's it. Like it's been going on a while. Definitely by Mother's Day it had happened. She found him in bed with a woman apparently, so that's very salacious. We don't know how much of that is true. Shakira has enough kind of.
She had the great quip. She said, "Because Colombian time is not the same as Catalonian time, Spanish time." I was like, "Oh,
murder,
getting cheeky."
But no, listen, cheating on Shakira, stupid. I would say, and to me, like
absolutely
that unto itself is terrible. When you do have 2 kids, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like you're set up. You have it. You have everything you need. You know. Now maybe behind the scenes, Shakira is a crazy lady, and he just couldn't deal with it.
It isn't. Maybe behind the scenes, PK is fucking crazy.
He'd want to be crazy. Listen, PK hasn't been good for some time now. So to be honest, I'm camp Shakira for this.
Yeah, listen, I'm camp celebrities.
Can get fucked.
Keep it to yourselves. Get fucked.
There you go. Hopefully Gavi is okay. Faye, that's it. That's all we have for this week for episode 90 of Soccer Cards United. The first week without Jason. Hopefully people liked it.
Hopefully people are able to hear and the audio is fine.
Yeah, to be honest, I hope I wasn't just talking to Faye for an hour.
Yeah, that's Jason's problem.
That's Jason. Fix this if you're still alive.
Yeah.
Be careful at Colombia time. And that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up, Faye. I've places to be myself.
Great. I've a bed together. I'm two a week in the whole gigs. Jesus.
Listen. That's it. Go on, everyone. See ya.
Bye.